Hey everyone, welcome back to Market Mama's channel. I'm Kendra and I have Becky here with me, and we're day traders. I'm from the United States, West Coast. I'm in California and Becky's up in Oregon. And we have been at this for about 3.5 years now. We decided a year ago to create a community by starting a podcast, just to have a safe space to really normalize the difficult journey of learning to be a day trader, specifically the psychology work that goes into it. And we've been growing and evolving as futures day traders, and we've just decided to be open and transparent about what that looks like for us between all the different seasons. There's always highs and lows for sure, always more to learn and skills to advance further. Becky today is going to share with us and just get into some specific areas detailing her most recent management of a day. It was very challenging for her. So tell us all about that, Becky.
Yes. Okay. So this day that I'm going to talk about today on this episode really encompasses like so much of my personal struggle days for the past few years, as well as some solid examples of my growth as of late. On the day of this topic, as soon as I sobered up from my morning trading session, I started to reflect on my day, and I knew that I needed to write about it. At first, I was just going to write like a solid journal entry, kind of OG Kendra and Becky style, which for us was a checklist that covered my behaviors during my trading session, accompanied by narrative of the trades themselves, and then how I felt about the whole thing. Kendra and I for years would complete these and then send them to each other as a key component of our trading accountability partnership and our individual trader growth. And so now that we have Market Mamas, sharing these type of growth days fits very well with our objectives as a trading podcast and growing this community with you guys of like aspiring, learning, developing traders. So for today, I'm essentially going to talk us through my day, what I journaled about it, the lessons I took, and the growth and how I managed this day compared to some less than ideal outcomes that I may have engaged in previously. Kendra and I have mentioned before a few times that she tends to see the bulls more clearly and really enjoys climbing the stairs with them on a trending bullish continuation day. And I, conversely, I really love building a short position as the bears trap buyers in the upper standard deviation band. And then I really enjoy a quick ride down in the elevator when she breaks. So if we each could have an ideal day on the charts, I really think that that's what they would look like. Okay. From all the traders that I've met, though, you guys, it seems like most people do have a certain type of market condition that they always tend to see more clearly and are able to more fully capitalize instinctively. So now I could daydream happily forever about the sick elevator opportunities all day and just only want those days. But what is honestly more valuable as I'm growing into a consistently profitable trader is seeing my shortcomings, studying their lessons, replaying the sessions with improved technique in hindsight, journaling how I intend to perform when these conditions present themselves again, and then just moving forward. So today will be my YouTube journal of a very bullish morning that I did not live trade as well as I would have liked, and yet again extracted important reminders from that I really apparently still need to cement a little harder in my mind.
Oh man, I'm so excited we're having this discussion because you are not the only one. I mean, I struggle on bearish days when we're opening and it looks like, the market's going to continue down and oftentimes rotates back up. And I don't want to accept that. So it's so funny that our struggle days are literally at the opposite end, but very similar in how it plays out for us. So this is a great topic. And I know there is so many traders who can relate to this and who do have a particular bias that they lean more towards, a way of just seeing the market. So I wanted to give a shout out real quick to Avi Sahai, because he was one of Becky and my very first swing trading instructors. And I remember he showed us this function. I think it might have been on Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade. I think it's Schwab now. You could like flip your chart to see the opposite of what price action's doing. Do you remember that, Becky? Mm-hmm. And I remember him being like, yeah, if you just don't like to see the market going down, you'd rather see it up and you trade better that way. And so I've lately been thinking of that in my head. I don't know. I use Sierra charts now. I don't know if they have that function, but I was like, damn it. Like I've been stuck in those mornings sometimes. And I was like, if this was going the opposite direction, if I was trying to trade long, like I would be able to, like, I would be able to trust like, this trade. But it's just so funny how our brains like only gravitate towards seeing things one way. So yeah, I can't wait for you to get more into this.
Totally forgot about that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you briefly about this day. So the setup is we had been consolidating for 6 days around the all-time high in the futures instrument for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, also known as YM. So the Dow is a stock market index of 30 prominent companies listed on the stock exchanges in the United States, similar to the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. All three indexes were actually dancing also around their all-time highs this week, and they were similarly quite choppy and decoupled and kind of all over the place around that same upper resistance, making for generally tricky trading conditions. So there is a strategy to this phase, and I don't really mind a rotational tight day as I am a scalper and I don't need a huge trending day to make a nice profit. But as we had been consolidating for so many days, this makes each day moving forward a bit less predictable. Essentially, you have to keep trading the range until a breakout happens, but then catch the breakout in real time and trade in that direction. But the market can also fake you out, can poke above a high and then fail and fall right back into that range. And this had been happening for days as well. Furthermore, tempting that a true breakout and up was building. So on this Friday, we again were opening at the all-time high, but it was Friday. So these days can often be rotational historically. And so we opened with a small gap up. So some bears at the open were a logical trade plan to fill that small gap back down to the previous day's high. However, the market was inarguably angling upwards that day. So my primary trading plan after evaluating all my data was bullish in general for the morning session, but likely would give a pullback to the gap fill before really taking off. And that could essentially kind of let New York traders regular session get a good entry for the continued push up. And then the market would top out at some point and then close lower than her high on the day, creating a wick on the weekly candle. Kind of my general plan. And I really liked it. I understood it. I felt like I had a solid plan. So when my trading session opened, we did initially push up and then we started to come down. Perfect. I would scalp the pullback to gap fill, some overnight levels, and then get out. Then I would maybe consider a long to some upper targets that I had marched out as well. So twice I tried for these shorts, and I was just hooked on the first move that I wanted would be that pullback. But not today was the energy of Miss Market. The bulls were done teasing all week, and they were not playing with their morning energy. So the market just proceeded to march up very steadily without a red candle in sight on the 15-minute chart until over an hour into the morning. So twice I saw some rejection on my 5-minute entry chart, just a little sign of it. And twice I got in to grab the counter trend move down. Now, this is the keywords of pretty much the whole episode. I wanted the counter trend move. Like, what the fuck? You know, like if my plan was a pullback for a larger move up, which it was, then the better move was the long. Like, yes, I like scalping. I'm comfortable with that. But it doesn't mean that I need to pick the second best trade opportunity just because I don't intend to hold it long term. Like, no, that's not actually my strategy. Ideally, I want to catch a piece of the best move of the morning, and we were showing strength of buyers at open. So my first entry took my full stop hit, and I only had one more chance at this thing, and I still had my eyes on the short because she was, after I took my hit, then showing a little bit of sign of another rejection. So my second attempt to capture the pullback was in profit for more time, but then quickly resumed the bullish momentum. So thank God. That's when I snapped out of it and saw that these were just shallow pullbacks and the volume of the morning was heavily bullish. So I scratched the second short for a small loss and nearly immediately, finally, joined the bulls. And you know what? This trade was immediately in profit. It did not hesitate. It did not cause me pain. It was smooth. It was a direct hit to my targets. And that's the thing, right? When your trade is correct, you can feel it. It's smoother. The confluences hold consistent without faltering. Price heads in your direction more steadily. The opposite side is weak, and you can feel at ease in that trade. So this is finally how I felt in that long. When my target hit and I had a good winning trade at the end, I just shut it down. So it's like overall my day ended red a little bit, but like my trading capital was just tapped, and I gave too much energy away fighting the trend to have anything left for even more trading. So I was thankful for finally getting in sync with the Miss Market eventually and not losing every trade that day. But it was a struggle day that didn't have to be, you know?
Oh, girl, can relate. Like that stubbornness is so frustrating. It's like, and what's silly is like, okay, most days, everything you did to prepare for your morning, of course, exactly what we're supposed to do. Like we're supposed to take the most recent context we have, pair it with our trade plan, and make what makes the most logical sense. And most days that pans out, right? Like we can see, we can anticipate, we have, all these setups, market repeats itself. But there are those rare days. And I think it was Umar that talked about this because he was like, he does the same thing. Like, you always want to have a plan. Everyone needs to have a solid plan and strategy of what their believe is going to be, but then once market opens, what is she actually doing? What does market actually want to do regardless? And it's so hard some days to separate and compartmentalize that and, end up at her mercy, like trading expectation and then looking for any little sign that your initial, bias or trade plan or trade you're really going after is still going to happen, right? I mean, we could start like looking at our data and seeing like all these reasons, but price action is just not doing it. So that is a struggle. And I know that you're not alone in that. I've certainly done that before, but kudos to you for getting in sync, because that is the best feeling when you are in sync with her and everything is aligned. And like we said, you just feel great in that position. And so I'm so glad that you were able to turn your day around despite, that difficult start to your day for sure.
Right. It's a very familiar feeling for all the traders that I know. We get it. And I nearly immediately after closing shop, I was messaging Kendra and recapping my choices and outcomes. And I had such deja vu for just that feeling, just that experience. I have done this exact same shit many times now, scalping the counter trend move, especially in a bullish setup, instead of trading with the money. Is anyone else guilty of this? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not alone. In fact, this has so consistently been my kryptonite that my mentor Jermaine actually messaged me to check in on my morning about 45 minutes after open, likely anticipating that I may have been hunting for short scalps and seeing that would have not been a profitable choice for this day. So of course I admitted my damage and that I had shut down my system and walked away. So that is an example of some real growth for me and in general for any trader. So becoming a profitable trader long-term, it's not at all an overnight process, like Kendra said. Trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's actually a screw-up hundreds of times thing. And the traders that eventually make money are the ones that can take the hits and learn the lessons without resentment. So I have certainly taken my fair share of hits and obviously continue to take them as I did on this day. But I also talk them out with myself in my journal and in conversations with my partners and in my locker room as needed. So there should not be shame in losing a trade. There just really shouldn't. It's hard ass work that we're doing. And that's not fair to yourself or to anyone. Any trader, it's not fair to feel shameful of making a mistake because it's hard. And making trading errors can be a key building block for growing into the profitable trader that you need to be. These lessons have to be learned and they have to be learned with impact. And that's what pain causes. It's the critical secret sauce to this damn thing. Learning from our mistakes, it teaches us to be more versatile, dynamic, cautious, and intuitive traders. So on my Friday, I did not deepen my stops. I took the hits that are within my risk tolerance. I stayed present with the market and what she was showing me, and I focused. This is what enabled me to see the bulls as the power that morning in time to recoup some of my losses. And of course, it was Friday and it was my only red day of the week, so that kind of sucked. But instead of seeing it in a negative light like that, I used a heck of a lot of self-talk to remind myself that I still am a consistently profitable trader. I honored my trade system, and no trader has a 100% win rate. I accepted the lesson and left my office. So then I was able to manage my kids and started a couple projects around the house that were on my never-ending to-do list. And that sort of pulled me out of the trading fixation and into the rest of my full and beautiful life. So I understand now, and I hate the crappy, down, frustrated, icky feeling that you can get into. And I have certainly at times previously entertained on really hard red days. It has never served me holding on to that crap feeling. And as I'm growing into a more advanced trader and person, I recognize that I can be disappointed in my outcomes, but let go of that negativity. It's possible to use reasonable disappointment as a catalyst for growth. That's how Kendra and I, how we now choose to experience our red days to the best of our ability every time we come into this situation. This day, in fact, is one that is stereotypically me. And so apparently I still needed to learn it again. And as many times as it takes, I will just keep reframing my approach and learning, but also then shed any gross feelings that are not powerful for my momentum forward. My weekend and my family and myself. We deserve to still honor the warrior that day traders are and that I am. And so that I don't have space in that situation to harbor any carryover poor me-itis or what have you.
My gosh, Becky's dropping gems here. That is okay. First of all, I want to say that being red on a Friday sucks. There's so many traders who either won't trade on a Friday or will like really lower their position sizing just for that simple fact of like not wanting to even risk going into the weekend, you know, either giving back some of their points on their week or just with that negative energy, because it does bring like a shadow over you. And the thing is, like, that's okay. I love that you're talking about not being shameful, because at the end of the day, it's not our job to always be right. Like, it's literally not. Like, who do we think we are? Like, Miss Market can do whatever the hell she wants, and it's totally okay to be wrong. I mean, it's even okay to have a bias and mess up and trade counter trade, as long as at the end of the day you did what you did and you catch yourself before you completely, like, you know, lose everything, and like, you know, you finally realize, okay, I'm wrong. Like, give yourself some attempts, whatever, and then you're wrong, and be stubborn. Okay, but you won't get rewarded for your day by that behavior. But it's okay. Like, you don't have to be shameful. You don't have to feel like I'm not a good trader. It happens. Like, we're human. We're not perfect. You know, even the friggin' algorithms aren't perfect. Like, no one is perfect at predicting the markets. It's so, I love that you brought up this topic, because it's so hard to give ourselves grace on those days. But how you pivoted and you were like, hey, this is my weekend. Like, I'm taking the rest of my day back. Like, that's amazing, because, you know, we have to get that emotional resiliency to be able to just move on and come back again, because every day is brand new, and we show up different every day. So good job.
Exactly. Traders get it. Thank you.
Yes.
We certainly in the past have had days where it was much harder to shed the negative self-deprecating emotions, and that just, it's like been a work in progress of learning to like get the fuck over that, because neither one of us or anyone else watching this deserves to feel that crappy over it and to hold on to such negative emotions that really can damage the rest of your life as a result. It's so much better if we can, and it's not easy, but like channel it into a healthy understanding of why you lost and powerful potential opportunity to get better in general as a trader. And it's just way, way better.
Yes.
So I do think that it is possible to be a confident, self-respecting trader whose trading journal has red in it. You know, these failures, they just do prove that we are trying at something that is really hard, and failure is woven throughout that education. My husband, actually, Rob, is an engineer, and he often works on complicated hardware issues that can take months to sort out and fit the necessary adjustments in order to get his circuit boards to their finished product. So he has been such a support for me from that perspective. Engineers might get this, apparently, from what he tells me. So he sees many, many parallels between trading and that work when I vent to him, which makes sense to me, because spending a long time working through failures by taking feedback and pivoting countless times until everything finally lines up to a smoother situation. That is like the trading process. In both scenarios, patience and dedication to the long game and ultimate goals are required. It's the same as the prolifically referenced timeless adage that Thomas Edison once said: I have not failed 10,000 times. I've successfully found 10,000 ways that will not work, regarding his invention of the light bulb. So this is me and the damn bulls. Thankfully for all Americans and our retirement accounts, the U.S. stock markets have traditionally been bullish since inception. So I have really got to keep getting it together by trading nicely with them. I may never be besties with the bulls, but we can become respectful, cooperative acquaintances. I doubt I will ever fall out of love with taking the elevator down with my bears. I just love it, and that's fine. But I can be friends with and appreciate what the bulls offer as well. This is the goal for me moving forward, and I am so grateful that I have a strong trading system with clearly defined areas of consistency to continue growing, as well as challenges to dig into for refinement. Trading is one hell of a beautiful, stimulating, demanding, and intricate world, and I am just honestly so happy to be a part of it and learning and growing with it. And this is just a day that further developed me.
Oh my gosh. I love that attitude and that reframing failure. I love that Rob is like totally like in your corner. He's like, I get this. And there are so many trading parallels to so many different other things in life. And so I love that for you. And I love how you're just pushing yourself, like you're recognizing, I mean, look what this day did for you. Like it gave us a whole episode of really important, trading struggles and a topic to discuss. And so, every day is brand new. Every day holds like valuable lessons. And it's always just the beginning. We're always learning. So Becky is a great example of just constantly pushing yourself to improve, defining areas that you want to target and get better at. And then just being so relentless and dedicated, on this journey. So again, everyone, let's celebrate Becky and let's send her some bullish energy so she can like want to hang out with the bulls and play with them when they come.
Help me make friends.
But yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Oh, that's about it. But it was just so funny because this was like when the day was happening, I was like, again, as soon as it was done, I was like, God dang it, this is the same crap that I have done, And even in that moment after I talked to my people and I had breakfast and fed my toddler, I was like, I gotta pour this out and like get it out of me and like reframe it so that I can feel better. And my 2-year-old is obsessed with Lightning McQueen. So I turned on Cars, which I usually like take him outside during this time, but I was like, I just need to write. So I turned on Cars and I literally just like wrote all about it. And that's what framed up this episode that day. Because I was like, I have to like in real time, not hold on to this and then choose to acknowledge the lesson for real. Thanks for being here with me as I acknowledge my lesson. And I'm actually really curious. Please tell us in the comments because this is an interesting dynamic between Kendra and I. So are you more of a bearish bias trader despite the fact that we trade a bullish market? Leave us a comment. Let me know that I'm not the only blood-loving wacko in our world. But thank you all for being here with us today. And we actually really appreciate our viewers and everyone who reaches out in the comments or emails us and checks out our website. The community is steadily growing here at Market Mamas, and we're really glad that you are here with us. And if you haven't, do check out our website because it has lots of cool resources on it. And that's how you can find the page to email us if you have bigger questions or just want to, show me how to be friends with the bulls. Our website is www.market-mamas.com. We have all our episodes and stuff there and then an awesome online merch shop as well. So have a great day, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Everyone take care. Bye.